Hey everybody, ModelMan here and on the bench for January 1st, 2013. Happy New Year. For me, I'm a little late in my biannual tear the room apart, clean it up kind of thing. This is the most complicated that the room has ever been now that I've got all the Modelers brand here going on. And I've really had to jam a lot of things all over the place. So it's far more complex and chaotic than ever, which I definitely like to some degree. But it will make the whole process of moving everything out of this corner, vacuuming the very deep end in there, and putting it all back together. I may even do a little reconfiguration, but I think overall things are set up pretty well. Main thing I really need to do is clean up this back wall. So, my battery is very low. I've got a new one charging, and the phone here is ringing. So one of the main things I've tried to incorporate into my layout overall is modularity and disconnecting everything so the lamp and the Dremel are plugged into this station, which run over to here, then of course down to here and into the wall, and then over there, that side, that has a couple different power strips powering this table area here. So as I set this up again, I'll go over how I initially installed this and how I'm going to get all this back into this convenient square rug area. A couple things I won't be able to move is the big wall here. But over here, all of that has to come out. That stuff up there can stay, though it needs to be pulled off for dusting. And the nice thing about this is a lot of stuff either rolls or has wheels on it, like these guys here. I do need to get some casters for this one and put this up on wheels. And this guy here disassembles into 3 or 4 sections. So, I'll get to it. And by the way, if you haven't seen Scale Model Addict Magazine issue 1 yet, it's pretty sweet. All sorts of phenomenal photography throughout. Really informative articles. I've read every single word of it at this point, and just a great design as well. So it's on sale now. Get your digital subscription very soon. Print subscription is just going out January 2013, and coming up in issue 2. All sorts of great articles, excellent photography, and of course, Modelers brand offers Ken and Scott and the entire Scale Model Addict community congratulations. Bean. Yeah, hey. You gonna be my company today? We'll see. And so 10 minutes later, I've already had to reconfigure the bulk pull apart, simply because one of the most important things that in my situation is that I have lots of open flat surfaces to put stuff down on, and a cat to actively make sure that the fire exit is open. Thanks, Bean, for the reminder. Definitely always keep your fire exit available should the unforeseen happen. You never know. So next up, it's just a matter of pulling these guys apart. There's the top piece, second, third, fourth, fifth, 6 items tall, and the bottom one's on rollers. I had to put the Jupiter away. I'm just finishing up a bunch of videos on that I did up to a couple weeks ago now. And everything pretty much just got put away as quick as possible, or in some cases left out in the open still. This is on rollers, so again, it's just a matter of disconnecting from the power and rolling it out. Can't recommend wheels enough. They're definitely a very good thing. That's why this one really needs it, because it's bulky to... It's a little bulky to lift reliably and safely with all the stuff on top. Put some big 4-inch casters on each side with maybe a smaller pallet under that that's a little wider than the thing itself. That would be a fairly stable configuration. And then the other miscellaneous just winds up getting piled up in an out-of-the-way area. And if you haven't seen the Scale Model Addict magazine yet, you can subscribe today at scalemodeladictmagazine.com. And let's not forget, I gotta pull all this apart as well. And while we're at it, let's reminisce. It's coming up on 3 years since I started the Jupiter 2, and at the time I swore I wouldn't build or touch another kit ever since. I did build the glow-in-the-dark Enterprise, but that was for business reasons. But otherwise, I have not done anything. And when I started the Jupiter 2, all of these kits went on hold. And they've been sitting wrapped in plastic for quite a while. So let's see what we've got. The good old cutaway Falcon that I started as far back as 2009. Hello, 2013. I'm still in the assembly and mounting phase. The putty, the surfacing, the light and fiber is what's primarily going on right now. It still has to be primered in some places, painted in others, and fortunately there are no decals, a final coat of clear matte, a display diorama, and some green screen shots of it. The C57D, ooh, that's a tough one, and that is buried all the way there on the very back wall. I got no further than the putty and the surfacing, and that's a mess due to really poor techniques that I chose to use in the beginning. The German satellite I barely pulled out of the bag and started to build some of it. Most of it is still in pieces, though the resin has certainly been washed and prepped. The US satellite from Mad Dog Resin. Was it Mad Dog Resin? It's been a while now. I love this model kit. It was essentially done, but I decided to go back for some paint fixes. The 1/350th Romulan Bird of Prey from AW Studios. One thing that had stopped me, it's all sealed up, so I actually have to go back and do some surgery because of the way that I want the power to mount externally. So a few repairs on that. Cylon Raider used for a lighting demo 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Stuck at the paint phase, so close to done. Then Spock. Essentially done except for the painting, where he has been taped up ever since. And we all know the Jupiter 2 started February 2010. And it's now January 2013. As you can see, most of it is really done. Once I get all the fiber optics plugged into the LED system that I'm going to use, that's a lot of it right there. At that point, it's just final assembly on the lower hull, painting the exterior, creating the diorama, and some other minor minutia fixes all throughout and along the way. So I'm really looking forward to concluding this. So at this point it's just a matter of disconnecting this. The other trick in here is that there's a fluorescent power strip for lights here, but what I really should do is take some Modelers brand LED tape and totally plaster the top side of the ceiling there so I have really good consistent light everywhere. And with Modelers brand's 3 different colors of white, I can get noontime white in this area alone. And here's a better look at the structure overall. When I originally designed this, it was just the walls and the top. I've since added this piece here. And then that locks down and inside the 2 edges of this one here. And now that that's separated, I can just roll this out. But I know the power drill is still plugged in. Let's get some space going. And here's what I'm really after. Cleaning out this fan. I've been told 100 times to put an air filter on there, like for an air conditioner kind of thing. Tried it a couple times with a few different cheaper solutions, but yeah, it's definitely something I got to get going. And the other thing I should do is, when it's in operation more towards the spring all the time, is create a cardboard and tape seal so that the air is truly blowing out as much as possible, because in this configuration, even with the window closed as tight to the edge as it can be, there's still a lot of kickback coming up through here. So let's see how bad it is.